It has been a whole year since I quit my job, and I have learned so much this year when it comes to being a full time business owner, when it comes to being a working mom, owning a business again, especially being a single one at that. I do not think I would have been able to do this year without everything I have learned. So, I want to give a quick recap of what this year back in business has been like for me, what I've learned, what my income streams have been, and if you're wanting to do this for yourself, how you can quit your job and work for yourself in a business as well. If this is your first time on this channel, hi, my name is VP Wright. I am a certified life coach, a digital marketer, a mompreneur of two, a published poet, and probably a just creative serial entrepreneurial human overall. I have been in business and doing business for 10 years, but in this iteration, this will be going into year 6 of next year. And this year, particularly year 5, has been really interesting because I've learned a lot of lessons around being divorced, being a working mom, having the kids full time, and trying to manage working from home, looking at all the benefits that you would have of a job versus not taking them over for yourself. There's a lot. So I want to share this with you all and give you a breakdown of what this year has been in case you feel inspired to try to do it for yourself as well. So 1, why did I quit my job? Well, for starters, I was never intending to stay at my job that I was at long term in the first place. I had a goal of when I got this job that I would only be there to get me up on my feet so I can go back to my business and do it successfully without stressing out over my finances and money, especially when it comes to the kids. Like, I had to make sure my money was straight. So as I was getting into year 2 of being at my job, I was at Apple for 2 years, I started feeling this nudge that it was time to go. And in particular, the catalyst of that, or like the pushing point for that for me, was she would hate for me to call her my boss, but essentially, like, my boss at the IGC coaching school called me up and was like, hey, I want you to take over the podcast. This was a year before I left my job. I'm interested in you taking over the podcast. You know the ins and outs of the company really well, and I think your insight would be great overall. And I was okay, cool, I'll take it over. So I did. And that ended up leading to the next point of when I was then on the podcast and her saying,
That's why I'm like, what are you going to do? Like, can you come back to IGC? Like, I'll literally give you whatever job you want. What are you interested in this week?
This is literally what I've been saying. I'm like, we've been talking about this for 3 months.
Can you actually write a job description for yourself?
I got you, fam. And then her saying it again in various meetings that we had. And then her texting me like, hey, when are you going to send me the proposal? And I was scared. I was scared because I had lost faith in myself. When I lost everything, literally, I left my marriage, lost the space that I was living in, lost my freedom in a certain sense because me and my dad moved in together. And as a grown adult, that can be very humbling. Lost my friend group, lost my money, lost everything, and had to go back to just like the roots of why I was in this in the first place. And getting asked again, I want basically to buy you out of your contract with your job. Like, what would that take? Was very intimidating for me because my first thought was, what if I fuck up? Y'all, if someone's asking you to move and to make a decision for yourself that is going to better you, and the thing that you're asking yourself is, what if I fuck up? You're going to fuck up. You're going to mess up. It's going to happen. The main thing that you need to be asking yourself is, what if I don't do this? And that's what I ask myself. If I don't do this, what's going to happen? I'm going to be here at this job that I do not like at this moment, that I know I need to get out of. And if I can get out of this and make more in the process, then why not just try? That's what I did. I negotiated a contract with Liv and Katie, the other co-founder of IGC, negotiated a little bit of a raise for myself so that way I could justify leaving and cover the benefits that Apple did cover for me. After securing that portion of my income, I was gone. I bounced. That's how easy it can be. The first step that you have to take when you're leaving your job is replacing your income. If you are a freelancer or a creative and you know you're ready to go, you have to find a way to replace your income. What could that look like? That could look like getting 1 to 3 contracts that cover the basis of your working 40 hours, but cutting down the time. So for example, instead of doing 40 hours at Apple, I now do 25 to 30 with IGC on a regular basis. It could look like doing or securing various grants that you have for the year. It could look like securing different opportunities with the various side hustles you have, or even taking on a couple of them, like day trading and filming content or doing UGC content, etc. There's so many things that you could be doing to replace that income, but that's the first thing you have to do is figure out with whatever you do creatively, How is that going to replace your income and secure that first? I now have been at IGC for the last year. I've learned so much. I've done a lot of things. And in addition to that, I also did a few other things as well when it came to my income stream. So let's go ahead and break that down real quick. Okay, so like I said, I have multiple income streams. You know that phrase where people say, well, if you want to be a millionaire, you have to have 7 different income streams? I believe I'm at that once again. When I was insane, like my first 2 years in business where I had 13 income streams, I'm pretty sure I'm now back at where I'm at 7 different income streams. I'm going to talk about them so that way you can just get a feel for what all I've been doing, essentially. So the first one is going to be the digital marketing. And what's interesting about this is that I knew I wanted to pivot more into digital marketing years ago, just because I love creating content. I love filming. I love editing. I love podcasting. Those things have always made me really happy. And the service of coaching is what introduced me into digital marketing, because it frankly made me a marketer, having to promote myself as a business owner and a coach. Now, that is like my primary source of income and like my number one driving income source. What is digital marketing? It's essentially the ability to market your businesses, your services, etc., using Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, all of those things. Blogging is a form of digital marketing. All of these things that we do to get eyes on our content is a form of digital marketing. So I am a digital marketer. I'm able to do these things on multiple platforms. I can do multiple digital marketing mediums and do them well. It's a lot of fun, but it can be also very time consuming. It's a whole job, which is why I left my old job to take on the contract at IGC, right? If you go through my Instagram profile, you'll see my portfolio of all what I've been doing digital marketing wise there. But if you also go to my website, you'll see that I'm a certified life coach. I've been a certified life coach for 6 years as of 2025. I got certified through the IGC coaching school, but it's a lot that I've done over the last almost 6 years. And it's PCC level. So I've been like working towards getting my credential, which had to be set back due to divorce, honestly. But that, fingers crossed, is what will be coming into 2025. And that will also open up another income stream when it comes to that as well, which is mentor coaching. I'll do another video on that later for those who are interested in all of that, but that's not what this is. So with IGC, I have digital marketing. And then with IGC as well, I lead coaching calls, so group coaching calls, once or twice a month. I also have a referral system for one-on-one clients through there. So that's one of my areas that I do coaching through, is through IGC. The next income stream is support coaching. So this is still under like the coaching area, but there were 2 different coaches that hired me on this year to come in and be support coaches for their programs. For folks who are like, well, I don't know if I necessarily want to do one-on-one, but I want to support clients, this is a great option for you as well. You can negotiate an hourly rate with them that you do on a regular basis, and then you do the hours, you do the coaching, you invoice your clients or in this space, your colleagues, and then they pay you for your time. Also a great way to do that also. So that's another income stream that I have. So we are at 1, 2, and I guess we'll say 3, because referrals is a big one. And I do get a significant amount of referrals from all 3 of those spaces for coaching. The next income stream, my 4th one, that would be the biggest on the list, would be like grants and projects. So there were a couple of grants and brand partnerships, and I put these together because some of the grants that I got were through brand partnerships. I worked with Fresh Arts to put together a mini doc, and then I also collaborated with a couple of small businesses as well. These partnerships meant a lot to me, because I was able to collaborate with small businesses, which is what I want to do when it comes to my other business doing life, and help them produce content to promote their businesses. The amount of times someone has come up to me and said, wow, I came to this event because you promoted it this year. I cannot count the amount of times, but it's really cool when a very small community that you may run has an influence on people to make decisions that you know is going to help improve the sales of a small business. It's a very fulfilling feeling. If you are in your local area and you know you could help promote doing UGC or doing just video services for a small business, do it. It's so cool. I received a small grant to produce content for a nonprofit this year. And when that happened, I was like, whoa, I want to do more of this in the new year. I want to provide free services or reduced services for a small business or a nonprofit because grants allowed me to do this. That's something I do want to do for next year, but it started this year and it fueled the fire in me. You can get grants. You can create partnerships to create your content that you want to make. You can do that, but you have to do the work to look for the grants. That's the biggest thing. So that was what, my fourth one? Yes. My fifth income stream is my royalties from my book sales. So what started my business was my first book, which is You Are Enough. And it was a tale of self-love and healing. This is where I was at 5 years ago at 24. Oh, wow. It's almost 6 years. Yeah, I was 24 when I wrote it. And it's so funny because like I was on maternity leave and we basically were living off of my savings at that point, and we were trying to figure out how can we make money. And I felt bad. I was like, I need to contribute something, which is wild to me because that's where my mindset was at. I just gave birth to a baby. I contributed to our family, but I felt like I wasn't contributing enough. That's capitalism for you folks, but I digress. I just felt like I needed to do something, and my first skill that I tapped into creatively with it before anything else was my poetry, was my writing. So there was a course of 2 days where I literally wrote this book. It just like it flowed from the gods into me, and 20 poems came out of that. And they were all like around the you are enough, like you are cared for, you are loved, you are healed, you are important, you are an activist. There's a lot of really cool poems in it. It's a very short chapbook. It's only 69 pages, but that's what launched my business. That's what launched my career into coaching. It was that book, right? Here's the cool thing about that. I've been getting royalties from that book every single month for the last 5 years. And there's typically like an uptick during the months of November and in December because people love giving that as gifts. This year, though, was the first year where I didn't have as many sales. Typically, I would have like around sales of maybe like 1,000 or so per year because I've sold over 5,000 copies. It's been about 1,000 per year on average. This year, I've only sold close to 300 copies. And so I've been trying to dig into, well, why is that? Well, duh, bitch. You don't market the book. I don't talk about the book at all. I got very lucky when I first put the book out, and I had a pin on Pinterest that I put into Tailwind. For folks who are on Pinterest, there's this app called Tailwind, and you can put a pin on Tailwind and put it into these community groups, and when they're repinning things, well, if they like it, they'll repin it onto their boards. And a very large influencer put my book on one of her boards, and it freaking blew up. And that's the pin that continues to blow up and make sales for me. Oh, and I got lazy. I'm going to admit it. I got lazy. I got complacent, and I did it. I don't market that book. I don't talk about the book. People order it and DM me all the time, and I'm like, wow, my tiny little book like still does have an impact on people, but I don't talk about my book, and I should. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to talk about it more. I'm going to talk about it more and use the platforms I have and use Pinterest more to promote it, because even though our art may seem small or minuscule, once we put it out into the world, it's not small or minuscule anymore. That tiny book has sold 5,000 copies, y'all. Imagine if you put your ebook out, if you put your poetry book out, if you put your art out, and it's available for the world to purchase, especially if it's digital. Oh my gosh, you can make sales and make money from that on a regular basis. So it irritates me a little bit that I haven't put like my best effort into promoting my book, especially that I'm like literally finished with my second one. But it's a lesson that I learned, and I won't be doing that again, and I have to put time into actually promoting it if I want the sales to occur. So all that to say, take the time to actually believe in yourself and put the effort into putting something out. It will change your life in ways that you wouldn't expect. Even if it doesn't mean that's a whole lot of money at first, it could be. But you got to try if you want to succeed. My next income stream is affiliate marketing, and this one is very consistent because I have a couple of platforms that I market on a regular basis. So that's Kajabi, that's Honeybook, and there's a couple of like random like Amazon links that I make commissions off of on a regular basis. And you would think it's not a whole lot. My affiliate sales and commissions make me like my light bill on a regular basis, or they cover my cell phone bill on a regular basis. That can have an impact on you, y'all. It's very nice when you put the effort into promoting these platforms that you believe in. So whether it's through Pinterest or whether it's through Facebook groups, whatever it may be, affiliate marketing can be very beneficial. And there are folks who make well over 6 figures just doing affiliate marketing every year and taking the time to do that. And then my final one I'm actually going to be leaning more into about teaching on this year is side hustling. I'm not talking about door dashing or the things that we consider side hustles, which those are very valid and people make a lot of money off of those. I love those, and they will be an option that we talk about, especially if you're trying to build a platform based off of that and what you could do in that. But I'm talking about like just the small little ways that you can make money right on your phone. So there's a lot of little apps that I like to use, the cashback apps, and there's, playing games and taking surveys. And I've actually done a good number on these apps. I make about $100 to $200 extra a month using these apps because I'm consistent with it. Sometimes we need the motivation and the push for ourselves to see that, oh, wait, I can be an entrepreneur if I get creative from that side hustling. When I first started my business, the first thing I was doing before anything else was side hustling. It wasn't necessarily to start a whole business from, but it was like, yo, if I could see this through, what would it do? And when you get in the practice of doing that and you see how it actually has an impact on you, it makes a difference. And so those side hustling apps, the little surveys, the games, etc., that I would do like in my spare 10, 15-minute times, once I got consistent in it, I was like, oh, shoot, that covered groceries this week. That covered random subscriptions that get bought out. It doesn't matter what it covers, but it covers something. And I think we forget that sometimes it could be actually very easy to make the money if we know where to look. There is a nice little article down below that's all on like my top 5 favorite apps to use for side hustling that you guys can access. I do get a kickback on that if you decide to join those apps, but it is like a nice little bump that is unexpected, and it's not a whole lot. You don't have to put a whole lot of time into it. And I think that's what the mindset shift is. When you're taking away how much you make per hour to make your money versus what can I do to make the same amount of money, it's very different to actually approach business and approach how you earn versus tying yourself towards your time. The best, most valuable thing we have is our time. When we want freedom, we have to look at our time. That's all the income streams, and I'm probably running out of time here. I want to say it was 6, it might have been 7. I'll put it on the screen. I think like we have to just start diversifying our money, especially as we go into this really confusing time in the world. And the last thing I want, especially for women of color, single moms, people of color, queer folks, etc., you don't want to be tied to just one thing. We could lose our jobs. The job market is crazy right now. You have to be able to make money for yourself and to provide for yourself in that way as well. If you love this video, then please, I would really love it if you liked the video, if you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing lots of shorts on here, probably more than long form videos. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I want to show up in a space where I can talk to people again and feel good talking to people again. You know, times are tough and we need each other and we have to support each other. And if there's one thing I'm not going to do, it's gatekeep. We don't gatekeep over here. So if you like it, please like the video. It would really help. Subscribe to the channel. It would also help. And comment below what your biggest takeaway was and what questions you have about working for yourself. All right, y'all. I love you. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.